Greetings grade 7, welcome to the second week of your learning at home. Trust you're all going well. It's actually Wednesday here in week 1 and already I've got a lot of interaction with you, so well done, and one assignment in already too, so that's great. However, moving on to week 2, we've got 2 goals for this week apart from your assignment. So here's your teaching and learning from the first goal. There's no theory for you to look up. I've actually included the theory in what I've presented here, so you'll simply need to listen to what I'm doing and then do the exercises as per instruction. So, moving on. The first goal for week 3 is to identify mixed numbers and improper fractions and be able to work between them. If you look at the diagram, it's not a very good one, but basically it's meant to represent some pizzas that have been bought. We've still got 2 pizzas which haven't been touched yet, but this one's only got 1 piece left, and as you can see they have been cut into 6 pieces. So how much pizza do I have remaining? Well, I can say that I've got 2 full pizzas and 1/6 left over. So I can write that as 2 and 1/6. And that is called a mixed number because it contains a whole number part and a fraction part. But I can also record it just as a fraction. So how many pieces do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, another 6 there making 12, another one there 13. So I've got 13 pieces, and remember your denominator tells you the type of piece, so I've got 13/6. So that's called an improper fraction. The reason it's improper is that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Normally we would write fractions with the numerator smaller, hence mixed numbers. But you need to be able to work between the two. So I've got 2 examples here for a start, just relating to this sum. The first example asks you to write 2 and 1/6 as an improper fraction. Now you could do it just as I've done it here. You could draw diagrams, fill them in, and do your counting. However, mathematically that is not a very intelligent way to go. There is in fact a rule. And the rule is simply based on the fact that each of these whole numbers is made up of 6 parts. So I can say I've got 2 lots of 6 pieces, and then over here I've got another one making 13, so my answer is simply 13/6. So can you see the pattern? 6 times 2 to cover the number of pieces in the whole pizzas, and the last piece making 13. So when you come to do these sums yourselves, remember the rule. The second example is to go back the other way, write 13/6 as a mixed number. The first thing you have to work out is, well, how many whole pizzas do I have? To do that, you need to do 13 divided by 6. The answer is 2 and a remainder of 1. So what that tells us is 13 pieces divided by 6, I've got 2 whole pizzas. And then how many bits of pizza left over? 1. And so 13/6 is 2 and 1/6. So you can see that I've been able to get these 2 numbers very quickly, very easily, without going to all the fuss and bother of drawing a diagram, and that is working mathematically. One final point, you may have a fraction presented as an improper fraction, but not in its simplest form. So if you were asked to write 20/6 as a mixed number in its simplest form, you would recognise, as per your work last week, that 20 and 6 have a common factor of 2, so you can divide 20 by 2 to get 10, and 6 by 2 to get 3. And now we can say, well, how many 3's are there in 10? The answer is 3. How many remainder? 1. What's the fraction? Thirds. 3 1/3. So again, cancelling down important, tables important. So the work I told you last week about making sure you learn your tables, spending time in timestable.com is actually really, really necessary. So that's it for your first goal, fairly short one. We'll move on now to the second one.